Soil nutrient health and refurbishment for improved production is the title of my presentation. Now, let me take you to my content. I will give an overview on soil health, and nutrient, and plant deficiency. I also will give a background information on how the agricultural production are endangered. Secondly, I will talk about the article reviewed. Thirdly, will be common findings. And the last point will be gaps and further research is needed. First, let us say what is soil. Soil is a major source of nutrients needed by plant for growth. Now, how we can say if this soil is healthy? What is soil health? I would say it is how it can be compared with other soil concepts in promoting crops production and managing ecosystems. I mentioned a nutrient, but what is a nutrient? A nutrient is a substance used by an organisms to survive, grow, and reproduce. So what if the nutrients are less than it should be? What if we have a leak of nutrients? What is that called? And how it's a cure? Agricultural production is endangered. Why? Because of the ongoing climatic change due to the global warming and depleting soil fertility in farmlands. Due to nutrient leaching, open fields farming systems are being replaced by greenhouse cultivation. Why? The reason is to deal with the changes presented by unpredictable weather patterns. However, open field systems would be still productive only if farmers understood the soil health and how important is it. This would be enable them to return the soil nutrients needed for crops' health and productivity. Now, let us identify the nutrient deficiency. A nutrient deficiency occurs when the plant is not getting enough nutrients, such as minerals like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. In this figure, we can see that leaves are showing some symptoms of deficiencies, like iron deficiency, are giving the leaves a yellowish color. And this is starting like from the start of the branches. The new leaves are coming yellowish. And we have different types of deficiencies here. So, if a nutrient deficiency is happening to a plant, that plant will show symptoms. Something should be weird on that plant. Like the leaves color is different than usual, or maybe the growth rate is different as well. 21 articles related to lack of soil nutrients and plant deficiencies are reviewed. Most articles were published in 2020, following by those published in 2018. Most articles were published in the last 5 years, ensuring current information related to the topic of lack of nutrients and deficiencies. And this can be illustrated in figure number 1. In the y-axis is the number of articles, and in the x-axis are years of publication. And we can see that I reviewed most of articles that were published in 2020. And I read only one article was published in 2021 related to the topic, following by that were published in 2018, and the number of article was 5 articles, and followed by 4 articles in 2019. And in less than 2018, like 2017 and below, I read 5 articles. Now let us go to the common findings from the 21 articles we reviewed. The finding number one is in sub Saharan soil, it was revealed a weak correlation between nutrient deficiencies in the different soil parameters. These findings indicate that the soil had multiple nutrient deficiencies. However, these findings were not translated to the farming fields, thus necessitating further studies to determine the extent of a nutrient limitation to crop growth and the yields in sub Saharan Africa. Now, let me talk about the second finding. The findings reveal that water stress and phosphorus deficiency significantly reduce maize yield, while soil amendments increase phosphorus. I mean, while soil amendments increase photosynthetic and antioxidant defense in maize growth and phosphorus water deficiency condition. Similar studies were required to investigate the micronutrients and the crops plants. So there is further research needed. The third findings is indicated that the extended machine leaching algorithm predicts soil health with appreciable accuracy that could be used in soil nutrients investigations. However, the model should be tested in other agriculture zones to disconcern that the accuracy and the applicability in different soil conditions. This is related to the article that was published in 2020 under the name of Improving the Prediction Accuracy of Soil Nutrients Classification by Optimizing Extreme Leaching Machine Parameters. The fourth finding is it is indicating that carbon deficiency limited soil bacteria. The writers identified the gap of lack of positive control in their experiment, in which all nutrients should have been combined when investigating bacteria growth. Let us say that again. The findings indicate that carbon deficiency limited soil bacteria. So, this paper was published in 2017, and the writer said that he identified the gaps of lack of positive control in their experiment, in which all nutrients should be combined when investigating the bacteria growth. So there is further research needed here, further data needed. So I finished talking about common findings from the 21 articles we reviewed. Now I will move to the gaps What were the main gaps in the articles that they were reviewed? What is the further research needed? What should be done next? Common gaps would be replicating the experiments using different plants and soils from other locations than the only one being used and tested. Another common gap is measuring different nutrients to provide a more comprehensive view of a nutrient deficiencies and their effect on a plant health. Soil nutrients are critical for continued farmland's productivity to guarantee food security, right? Research on nutrient security and effectivency in soil plants attracts a significant attention because of the bearing on agricultural production and food security as well. As we know that different nutrients are responsible for various functions in plants and their level must be obtained to ensuring continuing a crop's productivity. Therefore, since nutrients deficiency is determinal to determinal to plants can lower crops productivity in a significant way. It is critical that farmers are aware of how to sustain health soil conditions in their farms using any empirically determined nutrient deficiencies. However, like the writer of the article that were published in 2020, they tested the soil using different technologies. But I feel like there is more investigations should be done about different soils from different locations. These articles were rich in evidence given, but I feel like it should be translated to the field. Therefore, lack of field settings were shown in such articles that I was reviewing. Different technologies also should be tested. Different methods should be tested for different nutrient deficiencies and for different soils as well. Further researches would be appreciated if it's mentioning Oman nutrient deficiencies. This was Amani Al Maamari. Thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.